Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. Want to say to everyone out there, really do appreciate you all spending some time with your boy. Want to give a special shout out to all those that's taking part in some of those parade activities over the weekend. Know that it looked like a good time out there in New Orleans, my hometown, man. So shouts out to you all. On this edition, we're going to be talking about the Saints going international. It was just announced that the New Orleans Saints will host one of their home games in London. This will be the first time the Saints have visited London since 2017. But I think they were the away team during that time when they took on the Miami Dolphins. But still huge news. And we're also going to be talking about some of the restructures the Saints have done with contracts like Ryan Ramczyk as well as Michael Thomas and plenty more Saints news. But I see everybody starting to file in. And, I'm looking at this international game, as it came out, and I'm extremely excited about that. I'm excited that the NFL is trying to spread out and trying to bring the NFL to Europe. They've been doing this for the last couple of years, where they have multiple games being played in London. I can't remember if they had 3 games. This might be the first time 3 games were going to be played across the pond in a season. So shows that the NFL is really trying to do some things differently. I'm not too concerned about the Saints losing a home game, especially after what I seen last season. I mean, the New Orleans Saints, they played terrible at home last year. It was to a point I'd rather see them on the road than actually see them at home. And if you go back to week 1 of last year where the Saints were dealing with Hurricane Ida, and they had to end up playing it in Jacksonville. They beat the brakes off the Green Bay Packers. So maybe the Saints moving and going somewhere else different might be what the doctor ordered. Now, I hope that they have a better home record than they did last season. I'm hoping that they do. But, I mean, this is going to be exciting. This is one of those games I think I might plan on going to. I want to go to this game, in London, man, to be able to check it out and see what's going on and, enjoy this, And when you see, like, the crowd and the people, in London, they're extremely excited about it. You can tell that they want football there. I don't think football is as important to them as it is in America. They're more into, like, soccer as we call it soccer, they call it football, but they're more into that. But still, I think that there's a lane for the National Football League to take a part in. But, every time any of those NFL teams go, it's always extremely exciting for those fans. I know there are several people, shouts out to the Saints UK. There's some Saints fans out there across the pond who have podcasts. They've asked me to come on the show a couple of times. So I know there's some Saints fans out there, so I know they're looking forward to actually being able to go to the game to check out the New Orleans Saints in real time. How the New Orleans Saints will be structured, who knows, right? And who will they play, who knows. Some people are speculating what home game will be that London game. Will it be the Cincinnati Bengals game? Will it be, another team, that the Saints are playing? Will it be a division game? I doubt that. But who is going to be that team? Whoever it is, it should be exciting. I expect for them probably to take on a team that's, has offensive firepower, a team that's pretty popular. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if that team doesn't end up being the Cincinnati Bengals. I know the Saints have to play the Bengals. That was supposed to be a home game. We know that the Bengals, they represented the AFC in the Super Bowl this past year. So that would be an interesting game, right? I know it would be a disappointment to a lot of Saints fans for those that want to see Joe Burrow come back to the state of Louisiana and get a hero's welcome. But at the end of the day, I think that the NFL is trying to make it as appealing as possible. They're trying to find games that can make it exciting. They're not trying to put anybody to sleep over there, But I think it's extremely different when it comes to football in Europe than it is in America. Like we we kind of live in that microwave world when we want something quiet, fast and quick and easy. Over there, I mean, if you're looking at soccer, I mean, the game might end 1-0, you know what I'm saying? Like 2-0. So it's just them going back and forth with a soccer ball, and they just as excited as they are if somebody just kicked the game-winning field goal. So I don't think that's too much of a concern for them. I think that they like the rough and rugged aspect of the NFL. We in America sometimes we love that finesse version of the NFL. We like that finesse style of the NFL, right? Throwing the ball down the field, triple reverses, flea flickers, stuff like that. But I think that if a team is really good defensively, I think that would be what the doctor ordered over there in Europe. Between soccer, between rugby, and then you have yourself a team that has some defense, I think they'll be just fine. But I'm going to go ahead and read some of your comments, and then we'll just go ahead and take it from there. Thank you so much for allowing the State of the Saints podcast to be a part of your listening pleasure. Really do appreciate it. Shouts out to Jerry. Jerry saying London. Ramsey says, I honestly think when you get rid of Ryan Ramczyk, he keeps getting injured. It's hard because I also like Ramczyk, but having an injury player consistently can be bad. Look, Ramsey, you're my guy. But I totally 100%, 200% disagree with you. Ryan Ramczyk isn't always hurt. This was the first season that Ryan Ramczyk has been hurt in his entire 5-year career. Look, this is, and I'm not picking on you, Ramsey, but this is the type of stuff that we don't need in the Who Dat Nation, okay? I mean, this isn't accurate, man. The dude is one of the best, if not the best right tackle in football, and you can arguably say he's the best player on the Saints team. I mean, Ryan Ramczyk is the most consistent player the Saints have. And when he's out, you can tell. Okay? I mean, I've seen like left tackles come in like James Hurst and guys like that back them up. You can tell that, saying like, no, I don't even want to say you can tell. They can go out there and they can do a formidable job. I have yet to see a guy play replacement right tackle and do a job where I can be like, he did okay. Ryan Ramczyk means that much to the New Orleans Saints. I remember the game where, he ended up getting hurt. I think it was against Carolina. He left the game. And I think Greenwich came in the game. And then all of a sudden, like, man, they could not even run to the right side. Ryan Ramczyk needs to go absolutely nowhere. Okay, Ryan Ramczyk is one of the best players on the New Orleans Saints team. And if this dude end up going anywhere, if the Saints were to trade, this dude is so good. Ramsey, this dude is so good that if the Saints wanted to trade this dude right now, the Saints probably can get a top 10, top 15 pick for him. That's how good this dude is. There's no way in the world that you should even be considered thinking about trading Ryan Ramczyk at all. Okay, at all. That would be like one of the biggest mistakes that the New Orleans Saints have ever made in their entire franchise history. I will stand on that statement right there. That would be one of the biggest mistakes in New Orleans Saints history if they even considered trading or getting rid of Ryan Ramczyk in any way, shape, or form. No way in the world. Sean said people are angry about the London game, but we have 9 home games this year, and 1 is in London. It's basically the same as every other year, including last year, where we had 1 game in Jacksonville. Well, I don't know why people are upset about that for. Like I said, man, the Saints were not good at home last year. And honestly, over the last couple of years, they have not been good at home. Their whole dome field advantage thing is becoming non-existent. But people don't want to pay attention to that stuff. And I get it, right? You want to go to the Saints game, you want to cheer, you want to say who that and all that kind of stuff there. But the home field advantage for the New Orleans Saints has not been up to snuff. I mean, it has come to a point where I'd rather see the Saints play away because it seems like they're more organized than they are at home. And, this game, them going to London does not faze me at all. And honestly, I just think that it's a good look. Think about how many people are going to travel to this game. Individuals that's probably right now are probably making those preparations to get themselves a passport for the first time in their career or life, not career, but life, and travel across the pond just to go see the New Orleans Saints, getting a different experience. I have absolutely no problem with that. The people that have a problem with that is just people that always want to complain about something. They always want to find something to complain about. They always want to whine and boo-hoo when things don't go their way or anything is different or not of the norm. That is one of the biggest issues I have with some Saints fans out there, that they just refuse to conform. They just confuse to deal with change. Anything that resembles change or any type of change at all, they try to remove themselves from it, and they're like the old man that's yelling because somebody stepped on their lawn. It is time to move forward. It is time to move into a different direction, man. This is a new regime. This is a brand new Saints team. They got a new head coach. They got new coaches on their coaching staff. And the way that we see the New Orleans Saints, we're going to have to look at them differently. And I have no problem with this team traveling to London. And I don't think anybody should either. Once again, we need to remove ourselves from that same mind frame of the old man yelling, want the kids to get off their lawn because we don't want anybody to rattle or shake against anything that we actually believe. I like this look. I like change, and I like the NFL asking the New Orleans Saints or, getting the New Orleans Saints to go play across the pond. I think that this will create a brand new fan base for the New Orleans Saints, and, that will add on to the Who Dat Nation. So why be mad at something like that? I mean, I just don't understand it. I think Armstead will be back on a cheap deal. Slim South, I disagree. I don't think that he's going to come back on a cheap deal. Terron Armstead is a heck of a left tackle. He still has a lot to offer, and I'm pretty sure there's some teams out there that'll be willing to back up the Brinks truck to his house in order to acquire his services. See, we may look at him as damaged goods, and we may look at him like, oh, man, he always hurt. But a lot of people look at this dude from a statistical, analytical standpoint, being one of the top left tackles in football. This dude is at least top 3 in the NFL at his position. And when you look at teams like the Cincinnati Bengals, who, man, basically getting Joe Burrow killed. When you look at some of these other teams that are out here that are struggling, trying to find left tackle stability, I can tell you right now, if you think that this man, all he can get is a discount rate, I think that's a mistake. I don't think he's coming back. To be honest with you, if the Saints don't give him enough money, I don't think he's coming back. And this may shock a lot of people by me saying this, but I don't blame him. I think sometimes we forget that this is a business, and we think that for some apparent reason these players got to have some type of undying loyalty to this organization. That's not always true. Okay, if you don't believe me. Let your manager at your job come up to you and say, hey, you know what, Slim, man, I know you've been here for a hot little minute, man, but, I want to give you this rate right here for a salary. And let this be something that you don't feel that's worth your time. Man, I've been here for such and such years, man. I've been burning the midnight oil. I've been grinding, giving 110%, and this is what you're going to give me? So if you're not going to do that in your life, imagine how that person may feel when it comes to the NFL. I don't blame Terron Armstead. If the Saints can't afford him and he can go to a team that can give him better money, why not? Why not, man? I don't have a problem with that. If the Saints don't show that man the money, I mean, he's well within his right to leave. And there are a lot of teams out there be willing to pay Terron Armstead top dollar to protect their quarterback's blind side. I mean, that's just the truth, man. I know that we would miss Terron Armstead, but look, when those players go out here and they get those discounted, they take the discount rate or they restructure their deal or, they take less money, that's a choice that they made, you know what I'm saying? But they not obligated to do that. And I know sometimes we may feel like that as fans. Well, they done made this much money in their lifetime. Well, if they're good at what they do and the market keeps on changing, why can't these guys get top dollar? Okay? We look at it from a different standpoint because, a lot of us aren't rich. A lot of us, don't have the type of money those guys have. So we think to ourselves, how much is enough? But if these guys can continue to make money, because you have to think about this, these guys, play for so long, right? And a lot of them may get 1, maybe 2 contract extensions. So you're going to be living life a lot longer than you're playing football. So you want to be able to take care of yourself, take care of your kids, and have your kids be taken care of. I have no problem with that. I miss Terron Armstead, no doubt about it. But I just know that he's good enough that he can get top dollar from any team. I mean, he can be up there as one of the top paid left tackles in football. That's how much teams value his position. So it wouldn't surprise me if he end up leaving, going somewhere else. I mean, I miss him. He was a great player for the Saints, but man, got to do what he got to do. It's a business, folks. Ramczyk is a franchise lineman. Whoever made that comment should just relinquish their fandom. That's the most asinine thing I have ever heard. Well, Sean, look, man, let's give everybody opportunity, man. But, that may be what he feels. But I don't think he should surrender his fandom. I do feel like sometimes those statements, sometimes we get caught up in a moment as fans, right? Because we like these guys so much and they're so important to the success of the team. We get frustrated. We get frustrated by these guys not being available. We get frustrated by these guys not being here. And we're like, man, you know what I'm saying? If it was here, we'll have stability at this position. If he was here, we'll have, we'll be champions or whatever, but, like we have to be careful with that, man. Ryan Ramczyk is a special football player, and his peers know it, man. That's why he's always ranked in NFL top 100, and he's always ranked in the top 5 of his position. Pro Football Focus has Ryan Ramczyk ranked the 3rd best tackle in all of football at his position, okay? And this was when he was hurt. He was hurt most of the season, and this dude still ranked in the top 5. So you can't tell me this dude ain't special. I'm telling you, if the Saints wanted to trade Ryan Ramczyk right now, the Saints probably can get themselves a top 10 pick based on how good this dude actually is. The guy's a really special player, man. Man, he's a beast. Can't let him go. Man, Ryan Ramczyk to me, I'm gonna be honest with you. Ryan Ramczyk to me is the best player on the Saints team. Like if I'm doing ranked on based on importance, I'm talking about based on ability, positions. He the best player on the team. A lot of people, we pay attention to the finesse positions, the quarterback, the running back, the receiver, the ones that have the ball in their hand and they give us these magical moments. But none of these magical moments happen if you don't have guys like Ryan Ramczyk pancaking the defensive linemen. You're making sure that these guys have holes to get through and quarterbacks have time. To me, he the best player on the team. Guys, I just want to say that Josh is the coolest guy in here. Honestly, we should send him some money or something just for being cool. I'm going to PayPal him $50 right now. Lobbying, ain't you? Derek says, TJ, who that? What's going on, Derek? Josh changed your name. Gabriel says, who that? Ramsey says, I honestly worry about Jameis Winston. I know this is going to bring a lot of controversy, but I think but I think about his mental state. We see Jameis rummage 300-pound guys on the field. We don't know to wait. Ramsey, I don't know. I don't know, man. These takes today are a little rough for me, man. But Jameis Winston, there's absolutely nothing, in my opinion, wrong with Jameis Winston's mental. Jameis Winston got injured on Halloween, and this man is running right now as we speak on a treadmill. If this dude had a different type of mental makeup, there's nowhere in the world he'll be this ahead of schedule. I just want to say, man, I think that Jameis Winston is progressing. I think that Jameis Winston is maturing. I think that Jameis Winston would be a better quarterback for the Saints going into his 3rd season with the team. I'm excited about it. Look, if I'm doing percentages, I say I give it about an 80 to 85% chance I feel like he will be back with the team. That's just my opinion. Ain't nobody tell me that, but this is the way that I feel. I think that he will make this team better offensively. I think that they will make the playoffs with Jameis Winston. And hell, the way that the defense has played this past season, I think the Saints can be a Super Bowl contender. I mean, people can say that I'm drinking a Kool-Aid, but hey, I think that dude is I think that Jameis Winston is that good. I think that he just would play for a bad organization. TJ Jones, I also support sending Josh as much money as possible. He's a cool dude. I mean, I'm pretty talented when I can talk and type at the same time, man, and put out statements like that. Josh, change your name now or else. As see Ramsey say, I'm ready for a nuisance of errors. You know what? I'm just ready for a whole new look on the Saints. I'm just ready for a new era. Well, we are in a new era. We are in a new era as New Orleans Saints fans, and a lot of us we are in uncharted waters, right? We're in areas in which we're not used to being in. We are in situations that we're not used to being in. But, you know, I'm excited about it, and I'm looking to see what the team is going to do. Derek says, I want to see how much the tickets are for London. I might think about catching the flight. Who that? Well, I'm pretty sure that, you know, they probably pretty decent. I don't think they would be charging an arm and a leg, because to me they're trying to gain interest in that area. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think they're going to be an arm and a leg to go there and watch the game. I think that they're going to be relatively cheap. Should Taysom commit to the tight end position instead of trying to be a backup because his starting position role is out of the question now? Well, I don't know if his starting position is out of the question. I mean, the Saints still don't have a starting quarterback, and, you know, I'm pretty sure they're going to allow him to compete against whoever comes in. And if he turns a corner, you know, which, you know, I highly doubt. I'm just being serious. I mean, look, you are who you are. What, you're about 32 years old going into the season. You are who you are. But, I mean, it's still a slight chance that, I mean, he can play that position. But, look, I just think that Taysom Hill is important. I like the fact that Pete Carmichael is still here, so that means that there's still going to be a lane for Taysom. I think that, you know, him being the quarterback of the team is, once again, is a stretch. But, you know, I think that, you know, him playing that tight end position, I think that would be pretty good as well. But I do feel like a lot of the tight end that he was playing was because the Saints didn't really have a solid tight end. The Saints need to focus on trying to get a solid tight end, a guy that can make the catches, a guy that can block, a guy that can, you know, give you those yards on third down, that can move the chains. So I think that a lot of his tight end play had a lot to do with the Saints' lack of tight end production. So hopefully they fix that issue. And, you know, if Taysom just so happens to come in at tight end, it's more of a trick play or, you know, a trick assignment that can fool people more so than, we're going to put him at tight end because he's the best one on the team. Yeah, I don't think I want to see that. They can take him. He's always hurt and take too much of a cap hit. Man, I don't know what's wrong with y'all, man. Y'all must been smoking on that good fire ganja. Ain't nowhere in the world. The Saints should even be considering. Like, man, I can't get on board with this. Ryan Ramczyk, are you serious? Like, a guy goes down, gets hurt a couple games. Let's man, I want to know. I want to see what I'm missing here. If y'all afford me a minute here, I need to go look at something, because I'm not seeing what everybody else is seeing. I see a guy for the first time in his career miss X amount of time. And then all of a sudden, like, people just going in on this dude. Wait a minute. Maybe I'm missing something. Let me go ahead and look at this man's stats, because maybe y'all see something that I have not seen. I'm pulling up Ryan Ramczyk's stats as of right now, right? Let's pull up this man's stats. All right, so Ryan Ramczyk was drafted in 2017. I think maybe he was the last pick of the, you know what I'm saying, round, and everybody, you know, including myself, I ain't gonna lie to you, because I thought the Saints were going to get Reuben Foster, which they dodged the bullet on that, but they end up getting Ryan Ramczyk. Went to Wisconsin. I'm like, okay, man, cool. We already know Wisconsin offensive linemen, match made in heaven. Them boys know how to dish out those offensive linemen. This is from 2017, so maybe I'm missing something. Maybe something y'all seen. Ryan Ramczyk in 2017 started all 16 games. In 2018, he started in 15 games. In 2019, he started in 16 games. In 2020, he started in 16 games. In 2021, for the first time in his career, he missed a few games. 10. He started in 10 games. So I want to know, what in the world is everybody talking about this man missing games? This man 2017, 16 games, 2018, 15, 19, 16, 20, 16. This is the first year this dude has missed more than a game. Okay? Okay. Maybe somebody telling me maybe we talking about Armstead here. Okay, so we talking about Armstead, yeah. Maybe I can understand how people may feel him not being available. But I'm about to say, maybe I want to make sure I'm being clear, because ain't nowhere in the world we talking about no Ryan Ramczyk. Ain't nowhere in the world. Thank y'all very much. Because I'm like, man, what are we doing here? But yeah, Armstead, yeah, he does miss his fair share of games. But he's still special. He's still special, man. And I'm about to say, man, y'all ain't about to do my boy Ryan Ramczyk like this, okay? Ryan Ramczyk, is one of my favorite Saints players. You know what I'm saying? Top 3. I'm about to say, y'all ain't about to do my boy Ram like this, man. We ain't about to have that injury narrative going about my boy Ram. But I do apologize if we talking about Armstead. But yeah, if you feel that way about Armstead, I can understand that. But still, he gonna demand top dollar because he's still good at his position and he top 5 at it. Tragic, thank you very much for the $4.99. Says, how people are hesitant on Winston because of the injury, but confident on a free agent Gallup, Godwin, and draft Williamson, who also suffered ACLs last year. Tragic, that's because people don't trust Jameis Winston. That's why. Because, once again, the narrative of what everybody said about the dude is the fact that he's not good enough to play the quarterback position. He's a turnover machine that cannot be fixed. It's just as simple as that, Tragic. That's the reason why we're having this conversation, is because people feel that he is damaged goods and he wasn't good to begin with. You have some people out there that still toting that 2018, 2019 narrative when you throwing all those interceptions. And they're not looking at the fact of how much better he looked at the quarterback of the Saints. Dude threw more touchdowns than interceptions, which that's what people wanted, right? You wanted him to see that the dude didn't turn the ball over at an alarming rate. He did not, okay? You wanted to see the dude get the ball down the field with explosive plays. You saw that. You wanted to see this dude move around in the pocket. You saw that, okay? So there was room to grow. The only problem that I have is people just so addicted to star power. Like, people just want themselves some stars, man, just because a person's name is recognizable. Just because a person, he went to the Super Bowl. He led this team to the divisional round of the playoffs. Man, I don't care about any of that stuff, man. All these guys, every last one of them, needed an opportunity. Each and every one of these guys showed promise, just like Jameis Winston has shown promise. I'm just not trying to give up on no dude, man. I'm just not. I just feel like the Saints organization is a well-structured organization, and they have coaches around this guy that can make him better and see the field a little bit different. I believe that if you have a player and he goes to a team and he has a coach, he takes on that identity of the coach and what that coach actually wants him to do. And sometimes what that coach wants him to do is not for the betterment of that player. Just like when you look at guys like Alex Smith, like people will talk about Alex Smith. Alex Smith has 7 offensive coordinators in his first 7 seasons with the San Francisco 49ers. How can any human being be successful in that type of environment? How? You know, it takes the right fit. It takes the right coach and it takes the right player to come together in order for them to find success. And it takes a special type of coach to put his ego to the side to draw up an offensive game plan that is suitable for that player. And the New Orleans Saints were willing to do that. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were not with Jameis Winston. Notice I said with Jameis Winston. I ain't say they weren't able to do it, but when somebody like Tom Brady comes through with 6 Super Bowls, of course you're going to change the way that you think about things. But Jameis did not have enough skins on the wall. Bruce Arians, the arrogant, offensive-minded guy that he is, the guy who is supposed to be the so-called quarterback guru, who basically just had manna fall down from heaven in the form of quarterbacks like Peyton Manning and Ben Roethlisberger, who just so happened to be better no matter who was in that particular situation. You know what I'm saying? He just kind of latched themselves onto that, and then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to do what I want to do, okay? You know what I'm saying? You develop that reputation. But in reality, man, let's just be honest. If you ever seen Peyton Manning ever play the game of football, it was magic, all right? He used to dissect defenses, put his offense in all type of different good positions. Dude would snap the ball at the 2-second mark. You know what I'm saying? Putting his players in the right position to get completions. I don't think Bruce Arians had anything to do with that, okay? But he was basically just, his name is just latched on to it. Well, when Bruce Arians developed that reputation, oh, he's a quarterback whisperer. Oh, he's a quarterback guru. Then all of a sudden, oh, you listen to me because I had Ben Roethlisberger, because I helped Peyton Manning. Now all of a sudden I got to listen to him when he telling me to do a 7-step drop and throw the ball 40 times a game with no running game and no offensive line, and I'm supposed to succeed in that type of situation? Come on, man, open up your eyes, folks, okay? Open up your eyes, man. You know, like, why do we not understand that organizations matter? Why don't we understand that schemes matter? You know, that stuff matters, man. When you go to a trash organization as a player, you're not going to succeed 9 times out of 10. You're not. I don't think that's a reflection of a player. You know, when people are like, man, the player done flaked out and all that kind of stuff, probably because his confidence so shot after playing for an abysmal organization. And then you have the fan base and stuff like that tearing them down and ripping them to shreds. But in reality, it's the organization and not the player. All I'm saying is give this dude a chance. Give him an opportunity, man, in a better situation. We just seen a guy in Matthew Stafford. This dude played for the Lions, a trash organization all those years. Couldn't smell the playoffs. Couldn't sniff the playoffs. Couldn't get out of their own way. This dude goes to the Los Angeles Rams with an offensive-minded coach like Sean McVay, who playing to this dude's strengths, and the next thing you know, they winning Super Bowls. Come on, man. Come on. Like, give this guy a break and understand that organizations matter. And it's not always just about the players. And I think that's something that we fall into. We fall into that trap, folks, of, oh, man, look, he's sad, he's sorry. You know, like, maybe it's just not the right coach that's coaching the guy. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, they're not teaching him certain things that he needs to know, and maybe they're not having enough confidence in him to be able to pull certain things out of him. I don't know. People who want Ramczyk must be on that dog food. I'm not letting go a 2-time All-Pro tackle. No, I'm not. Godwin, Gallup, and Williams late in the year injuries. Yeah, tragic. I mean, that's true. That's true, you know. But I don't think that the problem with Jameis Winston has anything to do with his ACL. I think that they're just trying to use that as justification. I like that guy from the Jets. I watched him when he played the Saints. All he was doing was jumping off my screen. I'm fine with him. Who are we talking about here? Are we talking about Braxton Berrios? If we talking about Braxton Berrios, I'm down with that. I like Jamison Crowder too, man. I mean, he played for the Jets as well. He a pretty good possession receiver. I like him as well. Was in London for the last game. We'll be there for this one too. Okay, sounds great. Sim South says, who that? Ramsey says, TJ Jones, what I was saying earlier, I'm really worried about players' health in the NFL like Jameis Winston because, yeah, you can see him run on the field, but would he be like when he has a 300-pound dude? Well, look, I mean, that's what anybody do, Ramsey, you know. When you have those ACL tears, that is a very serious injury, but I mean, we look at guys like a Joe Burrow. We look at guys a couple years ago, Wes Welker, Adrian Peterson. I mean, these guys have had really serious ACL injuries, and all of a sudden they came back was better than ever. I look, this isn't the times of Gale Sayers and guys like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't Brian's song. You know, like, you know, ACLs used to be a death sentence. If you tell your ACL back in 1970, 1960 or something, like, you damn as good, you might as well go work for Pontiac. But now it's a different world that we're living in, man. I mean, modern medicine has really stepped forward. The technology that we have, man, the medications that they have, the rehabilitation processes are completely different. So I don't feel the same way like I do about ACLs as I did in the past. Like, if this was even in the 90s, man, dude tears ACL, I'm nervous. But now it's like, man, dude tears ACL, he might be back to form in 6 months. You know, so you have to give credit to the technologies and modern medicine for giving us these steps forward in order for us not to be too concerned. Now, I mean, look, there is a level of concern, of course, but it's not as alarming as it once was, right? You know, you think about guys, you know, what you hear about in history. Like I mentioned, Gale Sayers. You know, Gale Sayers only played like maybe 6 or 7 years. I mean, this dude in the Hall of Fame. Can you imagine if Gale Sayers, if they had like the technologies of modern medicine like how we have today, and he was playing in his time, man, Gale Sayers might have been the greatest running back of all time. And he did this all in a 6-7 year span. You know, think about like with the hip injury of Bo Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Like Bo Jackson in modern day. I mean, what he kind of had was almost similar to what Tua Tagovailoa had. And now Tua, you know what I'm saying, Tua was ready for the season. Okay, you can talk about how he's playing out there in Miami, but still he's out there on the field performing. Technology has come a long way, folks. So my concern about certain ligament injuries are not the same as it was in the past. New Orleans ain't sucked. Then why you here? Why you on the show? Let me see. This live, Who That Family? Raquel, yes, this is live. I'm live right now. Live as live can be. TJ, I really think we need Sam Darnold. Do you agree? Do I think that we need Sam Darnold? Man.
Hell no. To the no. Hell to the no.
I do not. I don't think that we need Sam Darnold. Even an Achilles injury isn't a death sentence anymore. Yeah, I mean, look at Cam Akers. Sean, look at Cam Akers, man. Cam Akers playing in a Super Bowl. I think he tore his Achilles at the beginning of the season, like early in the season. This man back for the Super Bowl, okay? I mean, that tells you everything you need to know right there. Sign Jameis, draft pick at wide receiver, second round. Well, look, Saints Pelican Nation. I mean, look, that's I'm not mad at that, but I don't know how much sense that would actually make, okay? Because you're not going to be signing. Look, let's just go ahead and throw this out. Let's just go ahead and throw this out here right now. Let's just get this out of our minds. Jameis Winston is not getting signed by no team for no 1 year. It's just not happening. Like, you're going to have to give this dude like 2 or 3 years. Yeah, you're going to have to get this dude like a 2 or 3 year deal. Period. Like, it's just as simple as that. No 1 year deals, no nothing. Look, if you're going to sign this dude to a 1 year deal, if I'm Jameis Winston and you come to me with a 1 year contract, man, I'm going somewhere else. Because I've already proven, you know what I'm saying, to a certain extent that you can win with me. You know what I'm saying? I showed you that, okay, you give me better plays, you know what I'm saying, you do some things around me, I can succeed. So what more do you want? Like, man, we need to stop dipping our finger in the water, you know what I'm saying, and trying to figure out if it's cold or hot. Like, man, this dude right now, to me, is the best fit for the New Orleans Saints. The community loves him. The players love him. He's good in the locker room. You know, like he is really taking this very, very serious, man. So if this dude is taking it serious, why we can't take him serious? That's all I'm saying. Like, why are we so afraid to really invest in this dude? Like, the dude that showed you that he can do some things. You can win around him. You put some players around him, man, they'll be able to do something. Get a running game. Get a deep threat. You know, like, put some players around him offensively and see what this team can actually do. But if we out here, okay, man, we're going to get you 1 year and then get picking. Like, no, I wouldn't want to get, like, he's unrestricted, okay? So if somebody comes to me and be like, okay, man, we're going to draft Kenny Pickett too. I wouldn't even want that. Why would you even want that, man? Like, I wouldn't even want Kenny Pickett to be in that position. If you're not going to sign Jameis Winston, if Jameis Winston decides to go somewhere else, which to me, honestly, I highly doubt. I think that this dude wants to be in New Orleans. I mean, that's just the way I look at it. But if he was to go somewhere else, I mean, then you sign Kenny Pickett. No, don't, you know what I'm saying, don't be half-stepping with it. Don't sign Jameis and then try to get Kenny Pickett. I just feel like that's just a waste of time. It's just a waste. I mean, invest in a guy, whoever that guy may be. If it's Kenny Pickett, get him. If it's Matt Corral, get him. You know, like if it is one of these other young quarterbacks, get him. If it's Jameis, get him. But don't just be, getting guys, be like, okay, man, we're going to try to sign him. Like that 1 year deal stuff, that stuff is over with, folks. I'm sorry. That stuff is over with. The same thing I just mentioned. Well, he talking about, oh, man, he coming off ACL tear, so we might be able to get the leverage. Once again, modern medicine has come a long way, and it has improved tremendously. So you can think that an ACL injury, team going to walk into the room, like how a guy might walk into a garage sale and somebody really desperate for some money and they walk in, a guy who trying to purchase it walks around like, oh yeah, I got him where I want him. You can believe that if you want to. And you'll find yourself watching this dude play for another team. TJ, all the Saints have to do is re-sign Jameis, improve the offensive line, and get him some playmaking receivers, and we're back in the playoffs. Youngblood, I definitely agree with you on that. I really do. But even if they weren't to sign Jameis Winston, if you get yourself a quality quarterback, you know what I'm saying, and do all those things that you're doing, then I agree with you. But, you know, look, I'm a Jameis supporter, okay? Because, dude, to me, the biggest issue that I had, I said, man, if he cut down on the turnovers, he'll be all right. Right? That was my deal breaker. If he came in throwing picks like Razor Ramon, then I would have been like, okay, man, this ain't it, okay? But the biggest issue, we know he had the upside. We know he had the arm strength. We know he had the arm talent. You know what I'm saying? But it was just cutting down on those turnovers, and he did that. So I don't understand, like, why is this dude – why people still have problems with this dude? And then you seen what the other quarterbacks had to offer versus what he was actually doing as a starter. So you know he's the best quarterback that the Saints had on the team, and you know that he was cutting down on the turnovers, and you seen how they were able to throw the ball vertically down the field when he was there. So he gave you all the check marks, including things that was missing from the Saints offense for the last 3 to 4 years when Breeze was here. And yet we still are not invested in him because his name is Winston and his name is not Rodgers or it's not Wilson. And this is coming from a person that's an extremely huge, ginormous Russell Wilson fan. I told y'all Russell Wilson is my favorite quarterback in the league since Drew Brees retired. But still, if I had a choice out of Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston today, I'm going with Jameis. Aaron says, how do you feel about the HBCU draft class? If we're talking, and what league? Are we talking about USFL? Are we talking about the NFL? What are we talking about here? Because if we're talking about from the USFL, I think it's a start. I think that there's a lot of quality players among HBCUs across the country, you know, and I think that these guys need to be given opportunities. But I don't want this to be a dog and pony show. I said this before, Aaron. You know, as long as they're out here legitimately trying to give these guys opportunity and they not just trying to turn this into a dog and pony show, oh, we're going to draft this guy so people can be quiet and they won't be talking about how we racist and this, that, and the third against HBCUs. I just want these guys to be given fair opportunities, okay? And when the NFL draft comes up, I think that we need to see some guys come off the board. All right, if you're giving guys from Appalachian State chances and North Iowa University and Southern Utah, then why not a guy from Jackson State? Why not a guy from Grambling? Why not a guy from South Carolina State? Why not from North Carolina A&T, FAMU, Grambling, Southern? You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't we give these guys these opportunities? These guys can play in the National Football League if you give these guys the opportunity. If you have an undrafted free agent coming out of college like Assumption and Deontay Harris, right, and we find out that this guy is one of the most explosive players in the National Football League, especially on special teams, why can't we give a guy like from Grambling who was returning kicks or a guy from Southern that was returning kicks, why can't we give this guy a chance? And maybe he can translate and be a secret weapon on first or second down in a wide receiver screen run or, you know what I'm saying, even in a slot. I just want to see these guys given opportunities and not just for show and not just for just to show people, oh, you know, like, you see this, we drafting them. It's kind of like I don't want them to use HBCUs how they do during interviews, right? After the game, they stand at 6 feet apart, and then when the camera's off and they think it's off, they go hug each other and embrace. Nah, bro, miss me with that, okay? You just doing it for the camera. You're just doing it because, you know what I'm saying, this is what people want to see, right? To show you that we're practicing this. Give these guys real, true opportunities, and let's see where it goes. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to see any publicity stunts. I want legitimacy when it comes to addressing these issues. If you're not giving me legitimacy, I don't want it. Niners need offensive linemen. Yeah, that's true. I mean, they pretty decent on the offensive line. Probably just need to get younger a little bit. I'm late as hell, TJ. Been missing some shows from my work schedule, but as always, the past couple of years, I always catch the replays. I'm definitely mostly on Spotify. Okay. Well, man, I appreciate that, and you ain't got to catch the shows live, man. I appreciate the support in general, I know some people work and I don't have like a show schedule, in which I actually just air these shows. I kind of just, kind of march to the beat of my own drum when it comes to like creating content. If I'm feeling it, I'm probably just gonna put it out, because that's just the way it's always been. I'm gonna stroll down a little bit to Jason. Jason says people went so hard on Jameis being bad that they have to stay with it because they don't want to be wrong. Doesn't matter what he does, they can't accept he's good. Jason, look, those are the people that I don't want to be around. Those are the type of people that argue with you even when you are, accurate. You know what I'm saying? Like accurate with your arguments. And they just refuse, to say you're right. So they move the goalposts around and until they actually back you into a corner. Y'all talking about two different things, two different subjects that y'all weren't even talking about in the first place. That's kind of how it is. And I don't like to argue with people like that. Some of those people like that are some of my college people. I don't like arguing with college graduates too much. Shouts out to all my college graduates, but I don't like to argue with them too much. They walk across that stage, They go to Express, they get a little button-up shirt and get a little tie and some little skinny eyeglasses that tint up when they go outside in the sun. Then all of a sudden, like, you can't tell them nothing, okay? They're the most intelligent person in the room. They wave their degree around like Hacksaw Jim Duggan waved around the American flag. And they feel like that legitimized them for every argument, every situation, and they feel like nobody is more right than them. I try to stay away from people like that, okay? If you're not going to have an intelligent conversation with me to a point where if we don't agree at the end, like, okay, man, we just agree to disagree. But if I'm giving you some knowledge and you're giving me some knowledge, like, man, you're right. Yeah, I agree with that. If you can't come to that conclusion, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you, man. I don't like talking to people that don't want to expand their mind, that's not open to criticism, that's not open to a different way of life, and I don't like talking to people that don't want to apologize. I can't stand talking to people like that. Cody, thank you very much for the $4.99. Says, I heard the Saints might be releasing Bradley Roby. That will clear about $9.4 million in cap space. Yeah, I heard about that. That was a couple of days ago, Cody. And thank you so much, man, for the information. But they're saving about 9.4. And to be honest with you, Bradley Roby, he came on towards the end of the season, but I think you can get something better than that, okay? And you can save $9.4 million. I'm not mad at it, okay? I'm pretty sure he can go somewhere else. He'll get picked up, and he'll be all right. And I'm pretty sure he'll want to go somewhere else where he can get more money. Right now, I feel like he's probably at that stage of his career where he's just trying to get as much money as he possibly can. He's already won a Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos. So I think when guys when they like middle of the pack and they're not like on that trajectory to be like an all-time great, those guys just try to go out there and try to get as much money as possible. So, yeah, that's the reason why I feel like he went from the Broncos to the Texans. And I think if the Saints release him, he'll go somewhere else, wherever give him the most money, even if that means he's going to the Jets. I would really like to see Eric Bieniemy coaching. TJ, thank you for putting Jameis Winston my mind at ease for Jameis Winston. Well, I appreciate that, Ramsey. Thank you for your comments. Look, Eric Bieniemy, he's already re-signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. He will return as their offensive coordinator. Who knows? I'm just tired of having these type of conversations where they kind of died down now. I mean, it is absolutely ridiculous the way that these news cycles are recycled. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. And now that we have like stuff like Facebook memories and memories that we can go back into the archives, and you can see this. Like, literally last year, it came up in my memories was an interview that I did with Ross Jackson. Shouts out to Ross Jackson, man, getting promoted to USA Today, man, out there, man. But just having a conversation with him, we talking about black coaches. Then, I see another comment the next day, me talking about black coaches. We talking about Eric Bieniemy. It's the same thing over and over again. It's just get recycled. And watch, around this time next year, gonna be talking about the same guy again. Is Eric Bieniemy gonna get a job? I feel so bad for Eric Bieniemy. I do. I feel so bad for Eric Bieniemy because, now he's the poster guy, the poster child for injustices, right? So if he ever was to get a head coaching job, if he ain't making the playoffs, if he don't have a winning record, they're going to say, man, well, see, that's the reason why he ain't get a job. I feel bad for him. Other black coaches, if they get opportunity, they just get a job. Eric Bieniemy, if he was to ever get a job, if this dude ain't leading guys to multiple Super Bowls, I don't think I want that type of pressure. I work a lot too. I catch your shows when I can, though, big bro. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you, man. Like I said, anybody that watches my show at all, I don't care when you're watching. I don't care, if you're 2 weeks behind, a day behind. I don't care, man. As long as when you checking that out, it means a lot to me, man. As long as you show some love and that you taking the time out, that means a lot to me. TJ, what are the Saints playing for Blake Bortles? Could he be a decent backup for Jameis? Who knows? Could be one of those other guys, that just went to a bad situation. Blake Bortles at Central Florida was pretty good, man. But I do think that he's one of those career backup guys, I think that he might be able to come in, make a little noise, if the Saints need him for a game. Kind of like Trevor Siemian. Trevor Siemian come in doing mop-up duty, throw a couple touchdowns. Then, you want to see him maybe a game. He probably can get you through it. 2 or 3 games, you ask him for too much. Maybe that's the same thing with Blake Bortles. That's the story of Blake Bortles, maybe. MPL, thank you very much for becoming a YouTube member. And, I encourage everybody, man, to subscribe, become a subscriber on YouTube, as well as on Facebook, man. If you're listening to this on Facebook, please become a subscriber to the State of the Saints podcast. I really do appreciate that. It is ridiculous that we even have to have these discussions, TJ. It should be a fair ball game as a coach, and they're just as good as any color skin. If they deserve X's and O's, let them. Yeah, but as long as some people have this mind frame, it's never going to happen. It's just never going to happen, man. I want it to happen. Look, I want it to be so normal that it just seems like it's just a reoccurrence and we don't even address it or talk about it. I see some of these articles that come out, right? And they talk about, such and such was the first African-American woman to do this, or the African-American man to do this, or Asian woman to do this, or, I want it to become so normal that nobody even just look at race. They just look at a person just being qualified for a job. And, I know some people get tired of hearing this stuff. Imagine how you feel living this stuff. I'm going to say that again. I know people get tired of hearing this stuff, but imagine how you feel living this stuff. Some people I know we try to put ourselves in that situation. And we're like, man, well, I'm not like that. But there are people that are like that, man. And we're not the only people in the world. There are injustices in this world and things that we need to fix, and we have to shed light on it. Man, change isn't supposed to be convenient. Some people get mad and they want to turn the TV and say, oh, man, this is taken away from what I believe in and what I want to see. Well, it ain't about you, okay? It's a level of uncomfort that you have to face in order for change to take place. I've never seen somebody not feel a level of uncomfort when change was trying to take place. From any history book that you read, there was somebody that had to face, some level of uncomfort in order for some change to happen. Rather, that uncomfort was, something that needed to happen, or something that somebody wanted to happen, whatever. You know, like you were uncomfortable. It happens. You know, nobody's thinking about you when they trying to create change. I just want people to know that it's not about you. I just want some, man, you have to understand, you know, it's gonna have to take this. It's going to have to take us. It's going to have to take us to make that, you know, in this situation uncomfortable in order for things to happen. Let's see. Hey, TJ, your thoughts on Teddy Bridgewater possibly making a return? Saw a segment on our local show's Final Play. He was on the list. Your thoughts? Wouldn't be mad at Teddy Bridgewater coming back. Teddy Bridgewater embraced the city. City embraced Teddy Bridgewater. You know, Zion Williamson can learn a lot from Teddy Bridgewater and Jameis Winston, I must say. If you embrace the city, they will embrace you. Look, one thing I love about the city of New Orleans, I love about my city, man. I love about it. Even Saints fans, Louisiana, Mississippi, regardless. If you for us, we for you. If you against us, we against you. If you show that you not all in, we don't care who you are. We don't care if you're the biggest star in the world. You can be a billionaire. You can be a mogul. You can be whatever. We don't care if you average 40 points, 20 rebounds, 18 assists a game. If you don't embrace the city of New Orleans, we will look at you like you boo-boo the fool, as they say. You know, like when it comes to Teddy Bridgewater, Jameis Winston, they came in head down, right? They came in head down. There was weather to work. They didn't have this sense of entitlement. Like, oh, man, you know, like, man, I'm Jameis Winston. I'm Teddy Bridgewater. They ain't had this. These guys came up in here like, okay, man, you're not sure if I can play or not? Let me go out here and ball out real quick, right? You know what I'm saying? You're not staying up for the community. Let me roll up to your pickup football game real quick. You know what I'm saying? Let me help, you know what I'm saying? Let me, you know, donate to these charities. Let me bring my charity down here real quick. That's how you embrace the city, man. You don't hide out and whine and boo-hoo and cry when things don't go your way, you know? And that's one thing that I just feel like there's always going to be a place for Teddy B, you know, to me. So I would like to have Teddy B back, you know. I don't have no problem with Teddy B. And that's just the way that it is, man. That's the way it is about Saints fans, the city of New Orleans. They will embrace you. Because here's the thing. New Orleans people, we don't get starstruck like that, man. Like, yeah, we excited, you know what I'm saying? We see you, but we ain't falling all over the place and, oh my God, I can't believe this. Like you just like if you walk around the city of New Orleans, you think it's a coincidence. They talk about when Alvin Kamara, you know what I'm saying, like first couple of years, he can just walk around front court, nobody about him, say nothing to him, leave him alone. Like, don't nobody really care about that kind of stuff, man. People just want you to go out there and handle your business. And if you handle your business and show love to the city, they will show love back to you. So, yes, there's always going to be a place for a guy like Teddy B. Even this kind of off topic, I haven't left yet, but the people in Ukraine, I root for you and keep it going. Yeah, man, that's tough right there, man. You hate to see that type of stuff going on. I don't want to turn this into like a political show or whatever like that. All I can say is, man, my prayers is going out to the people of Ukraine. But, man, I must say I got a whole lot of respect for a lot of these people and these citizens of Ukraine, especially some of these celebrities. I mean, they drop in their professions to go out there and change it for some camouflage, a hard hat, and an AK-47. Even their president is out there, you know what I'm saying, on the front lines. I respect the heck out of that, folks. I respect the heck out of it. TJ, Jameis Winston, 5,000 yards, 33 touchdowns, 30 picks, and throwing to scrubs. Have you looked at the receivers on that squad that year? Look, I don't want to say they were scrubs. In MPL, that would be a little bit inaccurate. Okay, I wouldn't call Mike Evans a scrub. I wouldn't call Chris Godwin a scrub. I wouldn't call O.J. Howard a scrub. I don't think it was more so about. I don't think it was more so about the guys he was throwing to. It was the game plan in general, like not having a running game, not having an offensive line, telling this dude to throw the ball 35, 40 times a game because he had arm strength and arm talent. You have to have a balanced attack, all right? So I do feel like by throwing the ball in certain areas and throwing the ball 30 and 40 times a game, it can cause interceptions. Like these guys that play in that secondary in the National Football League, these dudes can, if they get their hand on the ball, they can return these interceptions for touchdowns. But there was some drops that took place, but I just think that the lack of a running game, not really putting emphasis on the offensive line and wanting this dude to throw the football all over the place, it was just a recipe for disaster. It was just a recipe for disaster to me. Let's see. Cody, thank you very much for the $4.99. Says, TJ, if we do get rid of Roby, do you think Lattimore will make a good veteran presence? I know he has some ups and downs, but when he's on. Well, Cody, I must say, look, being a cornerback, you're going to have some ups and downs. I just think that people have this idea about cornerbacks like, oh, if you ain't Revis, if you ain't Dion, you know what I'm saying? If, guys not throwing your way, or if a guy, like the quarterback put the ball exactly where it is and you miss jump a catch, an interception or something like that, oh, man, this dude sucked. Like I hear people talking about Jalen Ramsey in the Super Bowl. Okay, man, like, yeah, dude caught a couple passes on him and stuff like that, but that don't defeat the fact that the dude is a really good cornerback. Everybody has their day, and everybody goes through, like, hardships. Like, these are some really good wide receivers these dudes be playing, man. So, I say that to say this, man. I don't feel different about Marshawn Lattimore. I think that he's a good player. I think that he's solid. I just think that when people talk about lockdown, shutdown corners, I think that it is not always about guys not throwing to your side. And when they throw it to your side, you batting the ball away. Or if, the dude you throw the ball and you get 5 yards while you guarding him. I don't feel like that don't mean that you ain't in a lockdown or you can't neutralize the field because the quarterback complete the pass on your side. I think more times than not, the dude is really good, okay? And I think that sometimes the matchups that he have against can give him a little bit of a hard time. I do feel like he has an issue with staying focused on at times, but towards the end of the year, it seems like he was challenged towards the latter parts of the year, no pun intended, and he got better. So I just think that you got to keep a guy like that motivated. So hopefully Chris Richard or whoever the secondary coach is, they can collaborate together and try to keep this guy motivated, because I did see some bright spots. Them dudes are far from scrubs on Tampa Bay wide receiver tight end. I'm with you, TJ. You say that you're just straight up not telling the truth. Yeah, look, I want Jameis to succeed. I do, but I don't want to create this narrative like he was just throwing to some bums. Like, no. Okay, I just think that it was a combination of lack of offensive line, lack of running game, and a coach that was unwilling to really try to look at some of the things that Jameis can do well and try to capitalize on that. I think that was his downfall, which, I think that eventually that's about to be exposed. I know that this is a Saints show, but since we talking about Tampa, I think that I'm just going to leave it at that. And I'll go more into details on the first episode of the Crescent City Connection podcast with my brother EJ. We'll talk about this. But I think that Bruce Arians is going to get exposed this year. And I'll just leave that little cliffhanger going, and I'll go into detail on our podcast this week. Damian says, hey, TJ, I came late. I don't know if you talked about it, but if it's true, we're playing a game in London this year. Yeah, that is true. That is true. We're playing a game in London, and it will be a Saints home game. Not sure what week and not sure who they're playing against as of right now. The story just came out today. I don't respect how some of them Ukrainians acting towards people of color, not allowing them to board trains to flee the country. Look, all I know is when you're fleeing when you're running for your life, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, there's a certain protocol for that. And if that is the case, and like I said, I haven't really been following that. I just feel like stories like that are just stories within a story. I don't know. All I know is it just sucks that all that stuff is going on, it just sucks that all this stuff is going on, And, it should just be about humanity, not what a person look like, not the color of their skin. should be about humanity. And from a humanity standpoint, man, I just wish all those people well. TJ Jones, continue doing what you're doing. I'm turning 25 in 3 weeks, and I got to get as much as I don't want to. I just got to do some stuff. Well, man, you're young. You got your life ahead of you, man, and life is about ups and downs. It's about trials and tribulations, but it's also about making better of yourself. It is about learning from the mistakes that you make in life and applying that into making yourself better, all right? So just strive to be better day by day. Don't strive to be like anybody else. Don't strive to live the life like somebody else. Try to live your life, find something that you love, and try to capture it, man. Davenport says, I think he just meant Jameis made Humphries better, made Brate better, made Perriman better, made Deontay Harris a Walmart Tyreek Hill. Oh, we got to see these weapons without Jameis and Brady. Well, Deontay Harris called him a Walmart Tyreek Hill. Look, man, I don't know what it is. I don't know what the heck he was doing, but I just think that Deontay Harris is much better than the schemes that they got lined up for him. But I also think that a lot of the plays that they had for him was missing because somebody like Michael Thomas wasn't there, a guy that demands a double team. Because it was like when Michael Thomas came back against Tampa Bay Buccaneers in that Sunday night game, I'm talking about not this year, but last year, Deontay Harris was out there balling, man. It got to a point where Bruce Arians was like, man, I ain't too much worried about Michael Thomas. He said, man, we need to worry about Deontay Harris. I mean, I just think that Sean Payton can scheme up better when certain guys were there. And maybe the fact that some of those guys weren't there, he wasn't able to, like, do some of the things he wanted to do with them. I don't think that we've seen the best of what Deontay Harris can be because of the absence of a number one receiver. The London game news came out earlier this month. Actually, supposedly it will be against a division rival. Well, this is the first, Demetrius, I'm pretty sure it did, but I think this was the first day they confirmed it. And when they was talking about, man, the Saints may play. Okay, I mean, that's what I saw, but I think they pretty much confirmed it today, as in February 28th. If somebody's not watching this live and they're watching it another day. But yeah, February 28th. But yeah, there were whispers, but I think they just confirmed it today. It's good to see that Thomas repaired his relationship with the team. Can't wait to see his comeback this year. Well, yeah, I guess you mean this year. I said, we put next year, but we get it. Yeah, I'm excited to see him, man. I'm excited to see him here in good spirits. Seems like to me like he's really ready to show people what they've been missing, and hopefully he give the team what they've been missing, man, which is a quality wide receiver play from the number one position, right? From the number one. Been a while since we had some number one wide receiver production, I mean, it was too few and far between last year. Callaway had a 100-yard game. He started to get a little bit better as the weeks went by, but I mean, we can't afford to have that. We need somebody that's going to be a number one off the rip. I think the Saints make Harris a full-time wide receiver and get another kick returner. I don't know about that one, Sean, because I think that he's a better kick returner than he is an actual wide receiver right now. I mean, I know he hasn't returned any kicks this year, and last year, and his numbers went down. But I think it had a lot to do with him dealing with that knee and that hamstring injury throughout the season. I went to London when they played against Miami. That was the best experience ever. Yeah, that was a good game right there, man. That was a good game. That was the same year where you had, Lattimore and Kamara and all of them. They was actually rookies. It was, the year of the famous 2017 class. But my final thoughts is about this London game. I'm excited about it. I know a lot of members of the Who Dat Nation are. I'm looking forward to seeing who the New Orleans Saints are going to play. Whoever they play, man, I just hope it generates some excitement. I'm definitely planning on going to that game to enjoy those festivities, man. Probably have to convince my wife to go with me. I don't know how successful I'm going to be with that, but regardless, it's going to be exciting. I think that Saint fans should be excited about this. Bringing the New Orleans Saints, allowing the Who Dat Nation to travel across the pond to show people the love and support that we have for the Black and Gold. So I'm pretty sure in a couple weeks we're going to find out who that team is going to be to play the New Orleans Saints in London. But I'm excited nonetheless. But this has been the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you all so much. Really do appreciate your time. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com, search The State of the Saints podcast, facebook.com, search The State of the Saints podcast. Previous episodes available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM, and also a part of the Pigskin Podcast Network. And we're also brought to you by Manscaped.com. Use the promo code State of Saints. You will save 20% off of your purchase. Thank you to the fine folks at Manscaped.com. Once again, the official sponsor of the State of the Saints. Follow yours truly on Twitter at TJAYJones8. Have a good morning, noon, night, whenever you're checking out this podcast. And like always, all I got to say is, who dat?